Hello. Hope you're doing well. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can actually craft a coaching offer. And this might go back to the basic stuff, but honestly, I'm going to talk about how to actually craft and improve your coaching offer. And this is a crazy research method that not a lot of people do. A lot of people know about it, but a lot of people don't actually do it. And this is for you if you're hopping on calls with people and people are just giving you like, I need to think about it objection. Like everyone's saying like, hey, no, thank you in the DMs. Like you're reaching out to these people and they're like, not too much. People are commenting on your post, but like, no one's booking calls, no one's doing anything. And even when people do book calls with you, they're not even qualified anyways. It's like you're selling to the wrong person. It's like, you have this vision of like the ideal character, the type of person you want to get results for, but for some reason they just don't come to you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly why this happens and how you can actually fix one of the most fundamental pieces of your business, which is the offer. So let's dive right back into the basics type of stuff. If you don't know me, my name is Mahiz. I basically run a coaching business service-based business where I basically help coaches and consultants use content to basically acquire high-ticket clients. If you want to see exactly how I do this, please check out my Facebook group. I have tangible strategies and I have tons of social proof that basically goes over exactly how I do it. So you can just come and just watch the stuff and just copy the stuff that I do. And I'm going to be releasing a new offer very shortly, so be on the lookout for that. But anyways, let's just get back into the video. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. Which car is easier to sell? That was probably a very hard task, but it's obviously going to be the Lambo. But why is this easier to sell than this? Obviously, it looks better. It's more appealing if it's got a name, what the brand is, all that type of stuff. So obviously, the Lambo truck is going to sell a lot better. So I'm going to show you something interesting. This is what a lot of people do, and this is where I think everyone kind of faults. So let's try something different. So this is the same thing, so same Lambo truck, and let's try to make it fancy. So basically, let's call it the unique mobility driving accelerator 2.0. It's got 1,000 horsepower. It's 0 to 65 seconds, guaranteed, or you don't pay a dime. We'll refund you your money. We'll refund you your kidneys, everything. So this is your offer, but it still looks like this. What are you picking? You picking this or you picking this? Most of the time, this is what most people do. They will have a good offer in their head. They'll have a good offer. They'll have the good strategies. They'll watch Alex Salmons. They'll read Alex Salmons. They'll implement the formula, the thing, the like risk reversal, whatever, and it will still look like crap because they don't know who they're marketing it to. They don't know the right ideal character. They're basically marketing it to the wrong people, and they're not targeting pain points, because what you're doing is that to your target audience, or the people that you really want to sell to, you look like this. Like you just look like a really beat up car with just a ton of features, essentially. So that's why you get people jumping on calls and they're just like, I need to think about it. I'm not too sure. But then the person who has the Lambo truck that doesn't even have all of the stuff that you have just seems to sell more stuff. But I'm going to explain to you why this is the case. You craft an offer. So most people will actually do this, and they'll basically add all the things that, people on YouTube told you to do. They'll get you guarantees. You add the time frame. You say 30, 60 days, 90 days. And then you add the money back stuff, and then you're still selling a terrible car. If you can't really understand what I'm trying to say, is that the problem is not actually the offer or the formula that behind it. You're basically selling stuff that basically no one wants. The offer, like the headline stuff, this is great, but no one wants this. That all this cool stuff is cool. You're basically supplementing something that no one actually wants. So I'm going to explain to you how you can actually sell what the market wants, because this is ultimately the thing that will stop you from like becoming something like this, essentially. So what you need to do is to figure out what to sell, what the market wants. You basically just have to ask the market what they want, but you have to do it in a very specific way. So the first thing you want to do is you want to basically have a list of the people that you'd actually want to work with, like people that are actually your target audience. What you want to do is you want to send them a very basic message where it's like, hey, I'm looking up 20 people, get off their businesses, hit the ground off and running, and hit XYZ goal. All I want to know is what you're struggling right now. There's no pitch at the end of this quote. This is purely just to understand how I can help you in the market. If you feel like you'll be down to help, book a call here. You can put this in your stories. You can put this on your whatever. You can code DM, whatever. You'll get people that'll be like, sure, like I want to hop on a call. If you have existing clients, you can even ask them this as well too. So step 2, you want to ask them very specific types of questions. So these types of questions, I think you can probably ask them tons, because as they answer your questions, you probably want to probe a bit more. But what you can do is you can basically ask them questions like this. So You hop on the call, you're like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. The weather's sunny, whatever. And then you ask them like, hey, what is your goal with your business and why did you get started? So the goal is, I'm going to explain to you why we ask these questions later on. Then you want to ask them like, hey, what are your main problems that you're facing right now? What's the main goal that you have? What are the roadblocks that are stopping you from achieving those goals? Obviously, we asked this question, so like you can just have this down here. What is a realistic time frame if you had a step-by-step action plan to actually achieve those goals? What have you tried previously? What didn't work? What was the worst experience you've had trying to scale your businesses? And what worked and didn't work? So what's going to happen is that people are going to answer these questions and they're going to give you really good insights that you're going to use to create the offer that people actually want. So you're not the person who is selling this. You're actually the person who is selling this. And then what's even better is that you could be the person selling this and then have this on top of it. So now this looks instantly better than having this essentially. So this is the type of level you want to go. So you can come in and add whatever fancy buzzwords you want to add to it. So cool. Basically what you want to do is you want to basically take notes of pretty much every single thing that people say in this call. And then you want to craft the offer based off that. So now that you have that, then you can look into your formulas and everything and all that type of stuff, because everything becomes ridiculously simple after understanding this. Like I'm ridiculously simple. So let me give you an example over here. I will help you do end result in time frame without roadblock plus guarantee. So what is the end result? So obviously you ask people what the goals are. Why don't you just put the common goal as the end result? Usually it's money. Usually it's like, oh, I want to hit 50K. Oh, I want to get a spouse. Oh, I want to like marry Kim Kardashian or something like that. Like sometimes people will say that. Like I don't say that, but maybe some people will. And then you can add that as like your end result. So I will help you marry Kim Kardashian. So that's like if that's your end result, but for obviously most people will be money. And time frame, you basically ask them like, hey, what would be a realistic common time frame that you would love to have? People be like, oh, I'd love to have it in like 5 minutes, but obviously that's not possible. Maybe 90 days. I think 90 days is a good thing. You can be like, okay, cool. I will help you marry Kim Kardashian in 90 days without. And then what is the roadblock? And most people, you ask them like, hey, what is the common thing that you face? People say like, oh, about courses, they didn't work. Or I tried to send code DMs, it didn't work. I couldn't understand it. I've tried ads, it didn't work. And you're like, cool, how to marry Kim Kardashian in 90 days without ads, without code DMs, all that types of stuff. And then you can add your guarantee. And then you can be like, oh, all your money back. Now you've got something that people actually want. You've got a time frame that people actually want. You've got a roadblock that people actually hate. So what you've then done is now you've created the Lambo truck of your market with all of the buzzwords. And now it looks 10 times better than everything else. So what most people would do is that they won't understand any of that. They won't do any of the market research, and they just jump straight into the offer. They just jump straight into offer crafting. We're like, hey, we're going in heads deep, when the market research is actually the most important factor for pretty much everything. Because most people will not do this, and most people are just gonna make something out there, and they'll be like, oh, it sounds good to me. Like some client said that this looks good, so it's good to me, and then they run with it. And then you basically make like no money, essentially, or you make like significantly less money, essentially. So don't fall into the trap of not actually doing this. Like it's very important, because if you do the hard work right now, it'll get easier. So I don't know what my grandma was saying here, but like it gets easier once you do that. So as a quick summary for anyone that stayed to the end, basically there is two types of people when they create offers. They try to create the Lambo. You can either create the Lambo truck, or you can create the terrible car that just has a bunch of fancy buzzwords, but no one actually wants the car, but it just has a ton of fancy buzzwords because it looks cool. So basically what you want to do is you want to create the Lambo truck of your offer by actually understanding what the market wants. And the way you understand what the market wants is literally just by talking to the market. So it's like, the fact that I even have to make a video about this is so crazy, because there's a lot of people that genuinely don't understand this. But I don't want you to be one of them, and I'm glad you're not one of them because you've watched the end of this video. So I'll speak to you very soon. If you're curious on how we can actually help you sign more clients, first link in the description is going to be you. Join my Facebook group, ton of free value in there. And yeah, I hope this video was super helpful. I'll speak very soon. Peace.